The primary tool used by music producers and creators is the DAW. It's important to understand what the DAW is. Let's first remember what DAW stands for. A DAW is a digital audio workstation. Now let's consider each of these words. First, digital. Digit means a number. Computer processors use a binary coding language made up of zeros and ones. Anything that uses a computer processor to operate is considered digital. Many times people refer to electronic devices when actually they mean digital devices. An electronic device could be the vacuum cleaner in your home. If you have to plug it into the wall in order to make it work with electricity, it's an electronic device. But a vacuum cleaner is not digital. Smartphones, laptop computers, desktop computers, iPads, and other devices that work through a computer processor using the digital language are considered digital devices. Audio. By audio, we mean real sound made by real instruments. Examples include your voice, guitars, pianos, and drums. Audio is captured using microphones. Microphones transfer sound energy into electronic signals. Audio that's recorded this way isn't digital, but it is electronic. A workstation. A workstation is a place where a person can build things, create things, or put things together. So for us, a digital audio workstation is a place where we can take digital data, or computer processing, audio, or real sound, and put it together to create music and other sound recordings. So, do you think digital devices such as computers can communicate and understand audio signals? The answer to that is no. Digital devices such as computers don't understand audio signals. Digital devices only understand computer processing language. When you completed the first assignment, creating your drum beats using the Patterns Beat Maker, do you think you were working with digital sounds and audio with the assignment? Or maybe you think you were just using audio. The truth is, with assignment number 1, you were only working with digital sounds. Something that is a digital sound isn't a real sound or audio. It's virtual. So as a virtual sound, it should sound like it's real, but the truth is it's not. All the sounds that you heard in that assignment were generated by the computer in the processing of data in the DAW. Virtual sounds aren't real. So when you entered the patterns into the Patterns Beat Maker, you should have noticed a series of dashes and lines that were entered into the track above. What you're seeing with these dashes and lines are data points. Essentially, you are giving the computer a set of instructions using the timeline. Remember, when we talk about the timeline, it's a visual representation of the beat. The beat is what we use to measure time and to place sounds in space so that the sounds in our music will synchronize and sound good together. These data points are just your instructions to the computer of when you want it to activate a certain sound. The computer then takes those instructions and generates the sounds that we hear through the headphones. In other words, the process of creating your drum patterns this way was through a series of steps, or taking your mouse and clicking on boxes, unclicking other boxes, until you found a combination of sounds that you liked. In music technology, this is what's known as the step entry method. A different view of those data points can be found if you click on the piano roll button in that bottom half of the window. When you click, you'll notice that you see a zoomed in version of the region that was placed in the track. By clicking on the zoom button in the bottom right hand corner of the window, we can get an even closer look of this. When you zoom in on this view, you can see that all the data points are exactly the same length and that they line up exactly with the grid lines in the timeline. By adding some additional lines, you can see how these data points line up with that grid. With the step entry method, the positive thing about it is that it's a very precise and accurate way for you to enter sounds into the DAW. The drawback is that step entry method can be very slow and tedious. But we have an alternative in the DAW that's known as real-time entry. Real-time entry is much faster than step entry method, and it feels like a live performance or even recording. It's easier to improvise your ideas. If you've ever taken a pencil or pen and started drumming out a pattern on your desk or tabletop, that's what we mean by improvising in music. Just letting your mind be freely creative as you make up sounds. If you came up with an idea in your head and you had to figure out how to recreate that pattern in the pattern's beatmaker grid, it would probably take a long time to figure out. But if you had a way to just enter that data into the DAW as you were playing it, it would be much easier to do. That's what real-time entry allows you to do. It allows you to enter the data into the DAW as it's happening in real time. But the drawback to real-time entry is that precision and accuracy is very difficult and requires a lot of practice.